Sentinel's Lair podcast show.
Expanding our mind through stories of everyday.
And we are recording. All right, everybody. Welcome to Sentinel's Lair year-end episode. Just a couple things before I get into what one I wanted to kind of go over. It'd be a little bit odd for me because I am doing this by myself tonight. No guests, no co-host or anything like that. We are recording on TikTok, or I should say we're on live on TikTok. So if anybody who's coming in through TikTok, please know that I'm not ignoring you. I'm not disregarding you. It's just that one, the camera is kind of far away from me, so I can't see. And two, my focus is obviously to do the recording of the podcast. Moderators are in. You have Kobe and Rosie in the box, and you also have Nicole down in the chat. Any questions y'all might have for me at the end of the recording of this podcast, like always, for those who are listening in on it, I'm going to pull in just and do a live chat with everybody and kind of back and forth and kind of involve your guys who are interacting with me and the show. I kind of want to go over some of what our goals were for the year and where we're at and what we've accomplished and kind of where we're moving forward to before I go into what I kind of wanted to, I guess we'll call it the end of year message to leave everybody with. It's a little hard to do all this completely by myself, as far as financially and all the technology and setting everything up, trying to get guests, trying to get good content to do, and also something that's entertaining for the people listening. So it's why we didn't really come out with a whole bunch of other episodes like we would have liked to. The big part of it is the financial part of it. And we were trying to find, I was trying to find ways to involve people in it because it is a cost. Well, on TikTok, and for those of you who are on TikTok too, one of the things that TikTok has started that we're going to try and experiment with is they're doing subscriptions to content creators. So what we're going to try is we're going to do on that, use that outlet. Whenever we do a podcast episode, we're going to go on TikTok live. Couple things. It's $4.99 a month. 100% of all of that will be going back into the show to improve it and excel it and to bring better content, good guests, upgrade equipment to bring the best possible show we can. But we don't want, my big thing has always been, I don't want people to subscribe to me and to the show and just feel like they're giving money. If somebody's going to give generously to help support our show, I want to give back something that makes it feel like they're actually part of it. And even if it wasn't for the subscription part in the beginning, I still wanted something that I wanted people to feel a part of it. So Nicole, who is one of my moderators, and Rosie, we've talked of different things of what we can do to really enhance the abilities for the subscriptions and the podcast and to tie it all together. For now, until we can pay somebody or somebody to have enough time to put together a website the way we want it to be, we're going to use TikTok, and I'm going to be posting a video kind of what the benefits would be for a subscriber. So any help that I can get from that, I mean, like I said, it all 100% going to go back into the show. With that said, the gauntlet was also dropped. If you go to my link tree, you can go to my Teespring store where you have all Sentinel's Lair t-shirts, cups, tumblers, all kinds of the stuff to help that also all helps and goes supports us as well too. But there's women's leggings on there, and the gauntlet was dropped that if we get 100 subscribers, I will take a pair of the Sentinel Layers leggings and I will model them on video and put them on all of my social media for everybody to see. So that's kind of an incentive for us to help kind of spread the word and help get us to that next level we want to be, right? I mean, I know a lot of people that would love to just to make fun of me and get a good laugh to see me walking around in a pair of yoga pants. Um, with that said, I also want to take a moment to thank from the bottom of my heart the people who have supported the podcast and bought our merchandise. Um, I actually was a little blown away at the amount that has been sold on there so far. Tumblers, coffee mugs, sweatshirts, pint glasses. It's pretty. I was pretty taken back. So I want to, from the bottom of my heart, everybody who has bought something. Now the thing is, with the vendor I'm using, it doesn't show me or tell me who bought anything or who bought what. So I'm going to hold back on personally thanking people who I know who bought stuff, because I don't want anyone to feel left out who might not have told me that they bought something, because I don't know who did. So if you did buy something, please know I am extremely thankful for that. And again, that helps us with the show in bringing a better show for you guys. With that said, today is December 23rd. This will be up on Spotify and every other podcast outlet before, probably within 45 minutes to an hour after this is done recording. Tomorrow starts is Christmas Eve. I generally rule of thumb that we tried to stick to is no politics, no religion, none of that kind of stuff. So anybody who's listening to this, please understand it. I'm not trying to force or push any ideology. I've heard, and the reason kind of what sparked me to want to deliver this message is, over the last couple weeks, a lot of the very narrow-minded and in many cases hateful messages I've seen through Facebook, through media and the news, through listening to people talk. In 2022, I know we have a lot going on in the world right now, a ton of stuff that's going on in the world right now. And I think we need a little bit more love and compassion in a lot of things. I mean, again, without getting political, I think we can all agree on that if we read between the lines and we kind of focus on kind of what's going on in the world, we're in a very tense situation internationally. There's a lot of bad things going on. There's a lot of very, very close lines being drawn for large major conflicts. And there's a lot of division. You hear about being unity and being unified all the time, but don't necessarily am always seeing it out in and around. This is the time of the year that where everybody is supposed to take that little bit extra to consciously go out of their way to be nicer, more courteous, more respectful to their common man. A lot of the things that I'm seeing on social media, for instance, is you have a lot of the pagans that, and I'm going to use that word as a general word because I it's not fair that one gets picked on over another or singled out. but a lot of them, and they have a rightful reason to point out a lot of what with this holiday that was taken from them and incorporated into Christianity. And then you got a lot of on the Christian side that are talking about, if you don't do this or you don't believe that, or, then it's blasphemy and it's gone. And then you have the other extremes that don't incorporate any of these traditions because they are pagan. Look, we can go all day long on cultures, societies, faiths, religions, beliefs all day long. We can go back and forth all day long. At the end of the day, I'm a firm believer from the very limited research I have done. I mean, I am farthest thing from an expert. But from the research that I have been doing and the learning that I have been doing recently, especially more recently than in the past, there is no culture, there is no society, there is no belief system, there's no group of people that at some point in time, in some way, shape, or form, does not have blood or stain marks on their history. So my question is that I ask some people sometimes is, when are we going to get past it? Okay. There's a lot of beautiful things about a Christmas tree and the tradition and the stories and the cult and the folklore and behind that. It's beautiful and it's really cool. There's the solstice, the celebrating of the solstice, which was last night, I believe, the shortest night of the year. There's a lot of stories behind it. I mean, why? Let's learn about these things. Why cause further division and hatred amongst ourselves and say, you stole this, or you stole that, or you did this, you did that? One of the things that I read in an article probably about a year and a half ago, during the Roman Empire, the Romans, when they conquered when they conquered a group of people, they didn't banish that culture or their ways. They incorporated it into their ways, mainly to keep that culture, keep that history, heritage going. Why can't we look at that and do it the same way? Now, again, I'm probably going to get somebody who can correct me on this, and I could very well be wrong, but I distinctly remember having a conversation with a couple of people and reading somewhere that, and again, I apologize if I'm out of line. It's not meant to be, but, and again, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but the Norse territories, one of the kings or the leaders, in order to convince their people to convert to Christianity, the church incorporated a lot of the Norse traditions, like the Christmas tree kind of thing. Sure, that could be looked at as a bad thing. That could be looked at as it was stealing it. But why can't we look at it as, okay, we're combining the two. We're trying to commingle the two. Break bread together, have fun together, drink together. Doesn't mean you have to change or give up or alter your points of views. Just like you shouldn't be pushing your points of views on other people. When I was growing up, when I was a kid, I understand Christmas is not supposed to be about Santa Claus and gifts. I get that and I understand that and I agree with that. But that was a pretty big part of it. When I was a kid, I remember I loved Christmas. I absolutely loved Christmas. Wasn't because of the presents. I remember helping my mom set up the Christmas tree, put up the Christmas lights. My mom, we joke growing up that NASA satellites were able to see my mom's house because she put so many Christmas lights on the house. But I remember setting those up with her. I remember a sense and a feeling of joy, of happiness. I remember looking forward because every Christmas Eve, we would go to my grandfather's brother's house every Christmas Eve. And it was just a big extended family would always be together. And there was just, just that sense of family, that sense of togetherness. Going to the stores, going to the malls, Christmas shopping. There was a lot more patience. There was a lot more smiles. There was a lot more, hey, Merry Christmas. Hey, there was, and you know what? I understand that it's unpolitically correct to say Merry Christmas with a lot of people nowadays in a lot of places. And even when I was a kid, it wasn't, if somebody was Muslim or somebody was Jewish or somebody was a pagan and somebody said Merry Christmas to them, they didn't freak out. They didn't freak out because they didn't take it as an insult. They took it as it was for what it was. It was a gesture. It was a gesture of peace, love, and joy. And it wasn't a gesture that was assigned to a deity. It was just a general meaning of, if I said Merry Christmas, I mean, I wish you and yours peace, happiness, and joy. And that's what I remember. Some of the things I remember as a kid with the holidays. Nowadays, today alone, I almost got run off the road 3 times on my way to my work. I had one person completely blatantly go out of the way and cut me off in a parking space that I was pulling into. I felt like doing a fried green tomatoes deal and slamming into the car and said, I got better insurance. But I was in a work vehicle, so I couldn't do that. And the just aggravation in the store, that when I went into the store, the aggravation and the tensions from the hate, and just, there was not that even attempt of trying to be a better human being and be a better person. The person behind the counter smiled genuinely and said happy holidays. And the person looked back, the person that was in front of me looked back at them and said, waste of life. Literally said that and walked away. So why are we at that point? Why are we so miserable? I have my opinions. And by the way, all of my opinions they're just they're my opinions. Opinions are like assholes. Everyone's got one and they stink. But I think that we've had such a fight on religious aspects of a time of the year that the focus should be, because again, when I was growing up, it was the birth of Jesus, I was told to be, and what we celebrated at church, but out and about, that wasn't the focus. The focus was just, it was a time of the year where everybody would be a little bit more conscious in being friendly and courteous and respectful to one another, and spreading love and joy, regardless of who or what another person's race, religion, sexual orientation, or any of that meant. It didn't matter. It was just being a better human being. But I think we've had such a war on different things over the last, I'd say 10, 15 years. I mean, to me, Christmas isn't even Christmas anymore. When I look at Christmas, I see two things. I see one where it's just a bunch of people bitching and complaining to each other. You stole this tradition. Well, we gave this tradition. Well, you took that. Well, you took this. Well, you don't believe that. Well, you don't. Again, why does there have to be a deity involved in a time of the year of just being a little bit going out of your way to be a little bit more kinder, nicer, and friendlier to the people around you? Not quite. I don't understand. And maybe again, somebody can message me, or when I go back, when I go into when I get into my live here and start interacting with people watching, somebody can answer me that. I don't understand why a deity that somebody believes in has to have any influence on whether or not you treat somebody with just a little bit more courtesy and a little bit more respect. You're a little bit more time. And yeah, you're going to have those assholes. You're going to have those pricks that are always going to be like that. They're just going to be ignorant pieces of shit anyway. Why not just, well, thank you. Happy holidays to you too in return. Why not take that high? Why not that extra conscious effort to take the high road? Why does there have to be a deity involved in influencing and how you treat and talk to another person? The other side I see with Christmas nowadays is it's money. It's all about money. It's all about how much somebody can spend on the people around them. And the sad part is with the way we are with a lot of people financial situation, not a lot of people can spend. But that's what the focus is on. Is it's not about giving. It's not about being a little bit more tolerant, a little bit more nicer. It's about how much debt one can get into because this one's kid wants a brand new iPhone. This one wants a brand new Xbox, or this one wants a brand new car. I saw a notice, a little saying, or a little, I don't know, I guess you call it a meme the other day, that the best thing somebody can do is, instead of buying that iPad or that notebook or brand new Xbox and putting from Santa tag on it, put it from you. You bought it, you gave it to your kid. Buy something, or get Santa deliver something more moderate, something a little bit more generic. So that way, when the kids go to school and they're talking about what Santa brought them here, there, I can see it already. I'm going to get somebody mailing me. Well, what do you mean? This is what Santa brings. Okay. But some kids might end up getting a little jaded because they got a wooden train set, which is cool, by the way, while the kid next to him got a $1,200 iPhone. And I thought that was actually kind of a pretty good idea. But instead of the comments that came from it, instead of saying, that's understanding, no, a lot of them were just simply, if that's not right. If they can't afford it, they shouldn't get anything. I'm going to get whatever I want. Nobody should tell me. And it's like they missed the whole point. So again, it comes down to it. It's just how much money people can spend. They're missing the whole point. Both of those examples that I gave, again, in my opinion, have completely lost the meaning of what this time of the year is supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about love. It's supposed to be about compassion. It's supposed to be about a little bit more tolerant and accepting of others. It's supposed to be about helping bring people up. It's supposed to be about giving. It's supposed to be about family and friends, feasts, being together. So I hope that in going out for this year, and just kind of from what my observations are, again, they're my opinions and that's all they are, and we all know what opinions are. I hope that maybe some people that can maybe take what I'm saying and maybe understand it, and maybe reach out to, if you are like myself, somebody who's not involved in the church and is finding a pathway that leads a little bit more on the pagan side, that you reach out to that person who maybe said something derogatory or kind of down to you because of their Christian beliefs, and reach out to that person and just be friendly to them. Or that person who is a Christian reaches out to the person who's a pagan and said, "Hey, you stole all of our stuff," and reach out, maybe get to talk to them and get to learn a little bit more. Same thing with a Muslim or a Hindu person or a Buddhist, just all together. Just if everybody, it's like that whole pass along, you know what I mean? You go to the drive through, the person in front of you buys your meal, so you pass it on and you buy the person's meal behind it, and it just keeps going and going and going. Maybe something like that. Maybe if you can take the higher road, maybe it'll change a little bit in the tensions of division we have within our society these days. Um, the other thing with the holidays with me, I hate the holidays for a few different reasons, some of which I just mentioned. um, the big one for me, and I got a follower who's following, listening in right now on TikTok. I think he's still in there, Maverick. He can attest to this. He is a fellow veteran like myself. Um, I don't completely have the answer to this, but holidays are very, very tough for me and a lot of other veterans. Um, for me personally, being single with no kids and about 2,000 miles away from my family, it's tough because I don't have anybody to watch A Christmas Story with on Christmas Eve night. And we don't have those big family get togethers anymore. Um, and maybe it's because of some of the things that we've seen and we've experienced that it kind of jades that. But for me and some other veterans I know, and not just veterans, but I kind of people who just kind of had fight or flight situation trauma just to begin with in general. Holidays are tough for them. The biggest lie we tell everybody is when we're asked, "How you doing?" "Oh yeah, we're fine. We're good." "Any plans for the holidays?" we get asked. No. Sitting home. Me and the dog are just going to chill and relax. No stress. We play it off like it's enjoyable. No stress, no chaos, no drama. Hell, I save a lot of money every Christmas. Fact is it's a hard time. I mean, if it wasn't a hard time, the holidays would not also be the highest rated time for suicides amongst individuals. So again, if we could preach and push and try to convince people around us, to convince the people around them, to convince the people around them, and to keep it spreading, that, and it shouldn't just be the holidays, just for the record, so everybody knows, it shouldn't just be the holidays. It should be all year round. But especially around the holidays, if everybody took that little bit of effort. Now I'm going off on the deep end here on this one. And it might be coming across as being a little on the dramatic side. And maybe it is. But people, just how do you I don't understand. I don't think people understand how just being nice and courteous and friendly and genuinely giving a fuck about a complete stranger by holding a door for him and with a smile saying, have a great day. How many lives potentially could be saved by that one gesture? Because that person that you held that door for gave a smile and said, have a nice day. That person may have been walking out that door to go home to end it because they felt that desperate and lost. And the genuine care of by simply holding a door potentially could have saved that person's life. Is that not worth the fucking effort of being a little bit nicer? So if you know somebody who's either a veteran or they're alone, or they are the always, I'm fine, I'm good, no, there's nothing wrong, and your friends, call them over the next few days. Definitely give them a call for Christmas. Just give them a call and say, hey man, what's up, my brother? How you doing? Or sister? Thinking of you. Hope everything's going good. Just that extra little bit, especially this time of the year. If you could, if you knew that calling somebody you know who was otherwise going and having a hard time, if you knew for a fact your phone call or your 10, 20, 30-minute drive in a vehicle to go knock on their door and spend a few minutes with them was factually the difference of them unliving themselves or them surviving and going on another day and living, would you not get in that car and go? If you say no, to be honest with you, you can just remove yourself from my live. And if you're listening in on the podcast, you could just delete my podcast and then I don't want nothing to do with you. Because if you're even a halfway decent person, you're going to get in your car and you're going to go. So why not just take that chance and do it? And hey, maybe it'd be nothing. Maybe at worst case scenario, you have a cool conversation with somebody who could have used it. So, and going forward in the beginning and over through the new year coming up, I'm gonna be doing some focuses on. I'd like to talk to some other fellow veterans. Somebody like my buddy Maverick, who is watching as we're recording this, get his perspective and kind of some of the things that I've said. I'm going to be talking with some artists. We're going to be talking to some music, whoever we can. If you got an interesting story, I want to bring the best possible show, but I want to keep that inspiration and that level of positivity going, because I think that that's very important. And I think that that's something that this world needs right now. We need more people taking that extra 5 minutes out of their day and doing something nice for a complete stranger that they're going to benefit absolutely nothing from other than being a decent human being. With that, I want to wish everybody a safe, peaceful, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Yule, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you may celebrate. And if you're atheist or you don't celebrate the holidays for whatever purpose, that's fine. I still want to wish you a safe and happy time of the season, and everybody to have a prosperous 2023. We're going to be coming in with a lot of cool stuff in 2023, hopefully. Like I said, if we get 100 subscribers on our TikTok, you're gonna see me dancing around in Sentinel layers, yoga pants, leggings. I mean, that's motivation enough for everybody, I would think. Other than that, I'm gonna sign off. I want to wish everybody the best possible end of year that they can have. I want to thank everybody who's supported and listened. I want to thank my previous guest, my Richard Rudis, Miscreants, Nina, Kevin. I have an episode with a fellow veteran that I did that is I'm going to be posting up after the first of the year. My buddy Doug, who's doing the bus life. So we got some cool stuff coming forward. I want to thank everybody who supported along the way. It's been pretty cool. Oh, I have we're gonna be changing it up too. I know, again, it's kind of hard to tell when the TikTok people, the video there, but when you see it, there's an artist that I've been following a little bit. I watched some of what he does, and hopefully it'd be cool if he maybe wants to even do a podcast episode, because he's a veteran. He's got a wealth of all kinds of cool knowledge, but he makes different things from scratch, like rune stones, pocketbooks, but it's not like stuff that you would find at like a department store. Like it's really unique, extremely cool stuff. But he's gonna be making me a wall hanging that I'm going to be putting up on the wall back here. That's going to be representing what my spirit animal, I'm told, is, and what my spirit fish, I'm told, is, which is a shark and an otter, and tying in my Slavic, Norse, Druid, Celtic heritages and ancestries all into kind of one on this wall hanging. I'm pretty excited about it because I like his artwork, and I told him he's got free reign to do it. So that'll be coming, a new thing there. Other than that, look forward to 2023. And again, I want to thank everybody who's bought our merchandise, everybody who's downloaded, followed us on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, Google, and everybody who's following me on TikTok and interacting with the content and everything else on TikTok. Reach out to your buddies, reach out to your friends, and take that extra little bit of time and do something nice and positive for a complete stranger that you'll get absolutely zero benefit from. Let's make a change. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Sentinel's Lair Podcast Show.
expanding our mind through stories of everyday